It is 11:22 p.m. Saturday evening, and it's all quiet now. But we got meteorologist Zach Gilday and Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff on because storms are firing up off to our west. You just saw High Heat and Cooling Megadoppler, and those storms are severe and they're moving our way. And I do think that after midnight, I think for the time being we're quiet. But 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 o'clock in the morning, so it's going to be an overnight deal. So we're doing a preliminary Facebook Live here to get you all caught up, and then we'll probably end it, and then we'll probably start it when these storms are about to move in. But we've been looking at it, and earlier in the day, the risk was a little bit smaller, but it's grown, and now the whole area has a threat for severe weather, and we're talking all hazards. The main threat looks to be the damaging winds, and we're talking significant damaging winds, maybe even when we say significant, we mean 74 miles per hour and over, which are hurricane force winds. A Category 1 hurricane, the lowest wind speed is 74 miles per hour. And we're seeing hail too. Yeah, hail.
Large hail. Yeah, over 2 inches in diameter, 2.5 inches too, tennis ball size off to the west of us. I mean, here's the deal, man. The models, they struggle. They didn't even develop. I know when I was doing weather on Thursday, when you were doing it on Friday, the HRRR barely had anything by Saturday night. And now there's storms everywhere. You can show the radar. You can see all that activity that's developing and bring that up on Heil Heating Cooling Megadoppler. We'll bring that up full. And a couple things that I'm a little bit concerned with, Zach, is that we do have that potential for some pretty intense storms, and also low-level instability will be on the increase as well.
Yeah, I think so too. And those south winds are cranking up, increasing that instability. And we've been seeing the ingredients for rotating storms. So right now we're kind of seeing a little bit of isolated activity, but I think that when these storms move into our area, I think it's going to be more of a line and straight line damaging winds. But along that line, we have to watch out for any bowing segments where we could see a brief spin up tornado, and we can get right into the risks and show you what's going on. So
do me a favor, Zach. Pause that radar at the end. Take off the lightning because there's so much lightning you can't even see the storms. Zoom in a little bit off to the west. And Isabella, yes, there is a QLCS risk, and I'll show you that as well. So there's the very latest imagery. Hopefully this weekends as it moves in, but it's looking like that not necessarily will be the case. Look at the hail sizes too earlier. It shows 2.5, but what you can do, Zach, is turn on the local storm reports. Turn on the LSRs. Because all this is these are the ping reports. So if you turn on the LSRs, you'll actually see the hail and the size of it off to the southwest. It's under all the place files. You'll see it says local storm reports. It's like maybe the 10th one down or something like that. You shouldn't. There you go. Roll over those now and look at the size of that hail. So that's quarter, but go southwest of Norman.
That's 2.5 inches.
That's tennis ball right there. Tennis ball, golf ball. Some pretty big storm. So we'll do some storm tracks on it. But first of all, why don't you get to the risk and we'll see exactly what's going on with that severe weather risk.
Yeah. So that's the radar, but here is, well, first of all, we actually have a tornado watch. Now it does include, Delaware County, but it's mainly for areas west of us. And I wouldn't be surprised if they reissued this and maybe extended it a little bit further east into our coverage area. But here are the hazards as we go throughout the overnight. All hazards are on the table. Wind is the main threat, but tornado, hail, we have to watch out for all of those. And let me show you the big risk. So this has gotten a little bit larger than what we saw earlier during the day. A big level 2 slight risk. It does include the whole forecast area. And so 2 out of 5, 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. That is the time frame that we're looking at. 1 a.m. the very earliest, and 5 a.m. the very latest. But here is the hatched area for the significant damaging winds. Winds 74 miles per hour or greater. That is life-threatening wind, and wind like that can cause significant damage. So if we see these winds along the I-49 corridor, that would warrant TV coverage. And tornado threat is there as well. It is low, but it is definitely not zero. 1 or 2 spin-ups could happen tonight. Is very well possible. And here's a future track showing these storms moving in. This model runs a little bit different than what it was showing earlier, but a little bit later for the HRRR, 3 o'clock in the morning, these storms, and maybe a little bit less coverage than what the previous model showed. But I know that the graph model shows a little bit more activity.
Hey, Zach.
Yep.
Go back to that significant damaging winds thing real quick. That should be significant 75 miles per hour or greater.
Because
not 74. Did you change that?
I changed it earlier because I went on the SBC website and it said 74 or greater.
It's 65 knots, which is 74.8. So really, honestly, 75 when you round up.
Yeah, because the website said 74, so I just figured it might have been a mistake. But
okay, that's fine. But yeah, it should be, 74, 75. I don't know. Even that's 1 mile per hour difference. But
I didn't change the data set. I just changed that specific graphic to my show.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, because I was a little bit confused about that show. But yeah, just
okay. Go back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a future track. That was the HRRR. We can show the graph. Show you what that's showing.
Yeah. Go through that if you can. The tornado threat, you saw how that expanded over the area. Now, what's interesting is I want you to do the wide view, and let's see if it's getting the storms right now, because the HRRR doesn't. What's happening now? And so it's basically when you go out in time, it's not even correct. You know what I mean? So yeah,
that's what the model is showing.
So there's the storms. Basically, no broken line. Maybe a slight broken line, but there's like a ton of storms everywhere. And that kind of has more of a broken line of storms.
Yeah.
And it barely has any activity east of Oklahoma City. So now when you extrapolate that and put that out in time, that's not even going to be right.
Yeah.
But it gives you an idea basically of the timing.
Yeah. But I do want to show you this because we were showing this yesterday, and these tracks were barely clipping our far northern fringes, but now they're a little bit further south, and even the River Valley has that. So these are the storm spin tracks. So it's just a measure of the spin that an updraft has, and is what we look at. It's one of the measures for tornado production, and we're seeing these tracks moving in tonight. It's around 3 o'clock in the morning. It kind of zipped by there a little bit too quickly, but we can see them.
I don't even know if I need that.
That's why the Storm Prediction Center did increase this tornado risk here. They've definitely upped it from what it was earlier.
Yeah, and it covers the entire area. I want to show something here, Zach, real fast. I'm going to bring this up. So this is the SPC hourly analysis of the meso analysis. There's 0 to 3 kilometer lapse rates and 0 to 3 kilometer cape. So you'll notice that the storms really don't have much over them right now. Okay, but as we go into time, watch what happens. Ready? So that's right now. That's 2 hours from now. Come on, what are you doing? That's 4 hours from now. And then that's 6 hours from now. By the way, it looks like I'm a lobster. I don't know what's going on with the camera. It just makes me look red. So just code red. Who knows what's going on? I don't know. But anyways, you see that, Zach? That's right smack dab over us.
Yeah, what is that product? I can't read the bottom.
So it is the 0 to 3 kilometer lapse rates and the 0 to 3 kilometer cape. So remember, you'll want to look for 0 to 3 kilometer low level instability along with the 0 to 3 kilometer bulk shear if it's greater than or equal to 30 knots. We've got 0 to 3 kilometer cape that's exceeding 100. This reminds me a lot of March 30th, 2022, where that instability raced in right at the last second. And that's something that was concerning to me.
A lot of people are asking questions. What does that mean? So surface-based cape, we need that for surface-based storms, and tornado is surface-based. So another ingredient that we look at for tornado production.
Yeah. And so what does that mean? That means we're going to have to watch this line closely as it comes into Northwest Arkansas, because the ingredients are going to be becoming more favorable for QLCS tornado potential. If I zoomed in here so you can see, here's the surface vorticity. Now, that's what's happening right now. And we move along in time, and look at that moving over us along with that 0 to 3 kilometer cape, which dramatically increases. Those are all problems. Why is it so finicky, man? And then we come down here and we look at here's the theta E differential. This you can't extrapolate in time, but there's a lot of theta E that's coming in. So, and then you can see 30 knots, but more of low level winds will be increasing. That's 40 knots right there. And anytime the line is running north to south, that's going to be perpendicular line normal. So let's take us through some timing again, and I'll do that here real quick. So here's the HRRR, what it shows right now. I'm going to bring this up. So here's the HRRR. It shows storms popping up, but then look, it barely has anything at this point 1 hour later. Well, we already know that there's a solid line with a few broken spots in it. So these cells aren't really what is going to happen. So it's not even correct. And then therefore, when time comes, when this starts moving in at about 8Z, which by the way, if you're wondering what time that is, 8Z, you subtract 3, that's 5 a.m. or 3 a.m., excuse me, that these storms will be coming in. I think 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, Zach, is going to be our key time with these storms.
Yeah, I think so too. Still a ways away, still west of Tulsa, but
that's concerning when you look at that 0 to 3 kilometer cape increase, because that's what happened last time. And lo and behold, guess what happened? In the early morning hours, a tornado came through Northwest Arkansas. So not to say that this is exactly what's going to happen, but I'll share this tab again, and you can see that 0 to 3 kilometer cape is increasing. And remember, it doesn't show storms, but we know that that's not exactly what's happening. So it looks like it's already updated again. Yeah. So here's Lone Wolf says, my radar and weather channel only shows up to 32 miles per hour. What do you mean, Lone Wolf? Are you saying like right now? Because we're talking about storms that are in the future. So I don't think you're having 32 miles per hour. And I know you asked this question multiple times. But that's right now. Yeah, maybe it is 32 miles per hour. But there's going to be storms that, as you can see, as they move eastward, the environment and the ingredients will get better. I know. Hail is expected, but as the line comes through, I think hail is going to be less of a threat.
So I did do a storm track here
Yeah.
of that line. I think it's going about 35 miles per hour generally.
Hey, Zach, since you're the only one in there, you should have it tracking the camera. So when you're sliding back and forth, just put your hand up, and then it can track you. Just leave it up there. Leave it up there nice and still, just like this, and it should start blinking. And now try it. There it goes. Now you're tracked. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Tracking Zach.
it's got me now.
All right. There you go. Then you don't have to move it back and forth. So we got a new SPC mesoanalysis, and they say a watch is happening and likely pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'll bring that up for you.
Back here real quick.
There's the mesoscale discussion. All right, stand by. Bring this up. So this is the mesoscale discussion 291. Severe threat expected to continue over the next couple of hours. New watch issuance will be possible downstream. So if we look, the potential for a watch, they didn't say because they say it's probably likely. Tornado possible, most likely up to EF2. Wind 65 to 80. That's definitely concerning. And hail 1 to 1.75. And then you look here, and you've got 0 to 6 kilometer shear, mixed layer cape, and the MRMS radar. And that shows quite a few storms. So here's the latest discussion. Latest Mosaic radar imagery shows a developing MCS over much of central and northern Oklahoma. Potential for severe wind gusts, isolated large hail, and a tornado will likely continue with the stronger storms within the large cluster as it moves northeast across eastern Oklahoma late this evening. Storms are forecast to move into far southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri after midnight. Yeah. So, Zach, here's what I think. I think these storms, as they come in, are going to potentially intensify. So we should look at some water vapor. We should look at some satellite, kind of take us through some of that stuff. I'd love to see what this storm looks like on our water vapor.
Yeah. Well,
okay, so before we do that, yeah, you got a storm track on there.
Yeah, so again, these storms, they're coming in still a ways away. We can see Tulsa area around 12:30, and then entering our forecast area around the latter half of the 1 a.m. hour, so around 1:45, 2-ish, and then I-49 corridor, maybe 3 a.m. to 3:30. Just a rough estimate. The storms are still a ways away, but that's kind of what we're dealing with for a rough estimation of the timing. So make sure to have multiple alerts as we go throughout the night. The weather app's a great one, weather radio,
make sure you have notifications on when we go live on Facebook or on YouTube. Click that subscribe bell so you know when we're live, because we will launch another live as these storms get closer. Way more energy than what the models had. Yeah, look at all that energy.
A lot of energy coming in.
It's a lot of energy, and that's the system that's coming in.
And we have another round tomorrow, potentially. We haven't even talked about that.
No.
Should we dive into that?
Yes, sir, we should. While you're doing that, I'll bring up some photographs for the wind profiles.
Yeah, so we've been talking about tonight, but tomorrow we have another severe storm threat. And here it is. It's a 3 out of 5 for a lot of the forecast area and enhanced risk. Timing Sunday afternoon, early evening, another day with all hazards are on the table. Here's a model, the HRRR, really not showing a whole lot of activity. And it's kind of been like that. The models are struggling to produce storms. The HRRR really has no afternoon storms.
I'm not in the studio, Michael, but I will be. But I mean, you can tell. Bring up the radar real quick. They're in central Oklahoma right now. Those storms are a long ways away. So there's no reason for me to be in there this early.
Yeah, they're a long ways away.
Yeah.
And they're only going 35 miles per hour, not even in the Tulsa area yet. Yeah, but
here's a look at the photograph. I'll add this on there. So this is a photograph from Fayetteville, Northwest Arkansas. And one of the things it's struggling with is low-level instability. So the low-level instability is questionable if it really truly is that or if it's different. Regardless, the wind profile is pretty favorable for tornado potential if the storm remains isolated. And that's a big if. But there you see a straight line photograph and the lowest, less than 500 meters. Critical angles will be pretty close to 90. This says 67, but that's taking it from 0 to 500 meters. So not necessarily that, but it's all about that low-level instability. But remember, the models aren't perfect. They're going to smooth this out. This is probably, if that does happen, the LFC is quite a ways away from the LCL. So hey Zach, let's break this down. Let's give people all the details here. All right. So first of all, what do you need to do? You just need to make sure that you're weather aware. And when I say weather aware, and Rachel, we went through that mesoscale discussion already. In fact, we had that up earlier, and I'll bring this up again just to show you. There's the watch. I don't know if it's going to be a tornado watch, though. They never say anything about a tornado watch. They're talking about tornado watch number 68, and they probably will extend it and make it a tornado watch, Rachel Witter, but that's not certain yet. So all severe warnings are dropped right now in Oklahoma, and that makes sense because they're outrunning the instability. And so hopefully these storms weaken. Hey, that would be amazing. If they tend to weaken and we don't have to deal with this, that'd be awesome. I would love that. Wouldn't you, Zach?
Yeah, sure would. And
Yeah.
I would because we were talking about tomorrow before we showed the sounding. Tomorrow there's another chance for severe weather. And we saw how the models are not doing a good job producing storms. Now, it's just the setup, the subtle energy, but there will be a trigger mechanism tomorrow in the form of a cold front. And the ingredients, I think, will be there for severe weather. Here's the Energy Helicity Index. This is a measure of the instability along with the tendency for an updraft to spin. So it's kind of a combination. And when we see this, the colors getting a bit darker like that, those are the ingredients for rotating storms. So hail, tornado potential, damaging winds, those will be there, along with that front serving as the trigger mechanism for those storms. And here are the breaking it all down. Tornado risk a bit higher tomorrow, and the large hail. We had the whole forecast area pretty much in the hatch. So significant hail over 2 inches. That's over hen egg size. Hail can be life threatening and can cause significant damage as well. And damaging winds, again, up to 70 miles per hour. That's what's happening tomorrow. And then I saw some people in the chat talking about Wednesday. But yeah, more energy coming in Wednesday. And the latest for Wednesday is it's kind of looking more like Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. I know that Josh is on here. He probably doesn't like hearing that. But yeah, here's the day 5. Another risk for severe storms. But this is still a ways away, so it will change. So stay tuned for the very latest. But as of right now, we're waiting for these storms to come in. And as Bradley mentioned, right now they're at least in Oklahoma, no severe storms.
Hey Zach, show the if you can, go ahead and show the weather call next gen graphic that we have, because that's a great thing that you can do. It'll call you if the warning is right in the path of you. It's a service that we provide. We are in the middle of making a promo about it, so you can learn more about it. But it is a service that basically gets your location and it determines if it's in the polygon warning. So I mean, here's the deal. We're not saying there will be a tornado tonight. So I know Lone Wolf is scared. I saw that he's scared out of his mind. There are going to be some storms. They're going to have a lot of lightning. Hopefully they weaken as they move in. I'm just saying the potential is there for that low-level instability to increase and come back, which is what the models kind of show. So it's not something that we're going to let our guard down with. You know what I mean, Zach? We're going to remain vigilant on these and watching them. But what do you need to do? You just got to make sure that if a warning does get issued, that you have the ability to wake up and get that alert. Weather call is amazing because what it'll do is it'll call you, and it calls landline phones. Because if you're rural, you probably don't have the best cell service. It's tough to get that stuff. And so let's bring that up. And this is Weather Call Next Gen. And what it does is it'll alert you if you're in the polygon, and only if you're in the polygon. It will also call you when an update to the warning happens. So let's say you've got an extreme severe thunderstorm, such as basically when you got winds in excess of 80 miles per hour. It will let you know that. And then also you can dive into live radar, real-time lightning strikes, view the safety recommendation, safety actions, and so it'll tell you all that. And there's the weather website that you want to go to, weathercallservices.com/KNWA Next Gen. Now, just a full discrepancy. There is a cost for this service. The reason that there's a cost is it takes money to keep up the servers in order to call thousands and thousands of people in a second. And Code Red and let's BC Alert and stuff like that with the local counties, sometimes those fail. Code Red more often than not does have a fail potential, and a lot of people know that. So this is a great service. It will also give you the all clear too for those that are scared of storms, because sometimes we're covering the storm and then we don't give the all clear. So it's $12 a year. It's $1 a month, which is nothing, and so that's great. But I understand you're nervous about the storms. I get that. We'll watch them closely. As of now, there aren't any severe thunderstorm warnings. Maybe the storms will weaken as they come in. I'm just saying that potential is there. especially when that energy starts to move in and the low level instability increases a little bit more.
I think we have a QR code, right, Dan, the graphic?
Yeah, we do. I think that's for a demo. So this will give you like a demo of what it'll be like. So if you scan that, it'll call you and it'll tell you kind of like, now it's going to give you a test, but it'll be like a message saying, you know, this is like a confirmed tornado. It'll kind of tell you what it's going to sound like. And then also it'll give you the number that you program in your phone when you sign up. So service works now. Yep. It's working now. So it's a great service. And the nice thing is that it's not an app. You know, apps can fail. This is a subscription service that will really work well. And sometimes you might not get a call because you're like, it didn't work, but you were actually in the Polygon warning. Someone's saying that the PWATs are good. The precipitable waters are decent. Should get a good soaking rain with these storms. That is the truth. Yeah. We do need the rain. No doubt about that.
I was just reading that comment too, and I was going to show this graphic earlier in the newscast, but I just never had a chance to because so much weather is going on before, this takes priority. But check this out.
Yep. And that's what I was saying the other day. I was just like, yeah, say goodbye to all these drought conditions. They're going to be gone.
Yeah, so we're talking storm chances pretty much every day next week. Cold front Wednesday, and then it kind of stalls out, moves north as a warm front, and just energy comes in a southwest flow.
Oh, that's a good question here.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, storms.
I think Next Gen over and above. No, Weather Call Service. They just rebranded their names. Weather Call Next Gen is it's the same company. So if you have Weather Call, then you probably have that. When do the strong winds start coming into the Rogers area? Why don't you do that timing of the rain so you can really see? Because I saw that when you gave the weather forecast. It really shows the bump up of the precipitation timing. So I think 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning is going to be our time. So therefore, we will not be doing this live all the way up until then. But right now it is midnight and the storms haven't even knocked on our doorstep yet. But I think we're about to have a new severe thunderstorm warning over Okemah. That's going to be issued here pretty soon. That storm is intensifying a little bit. We'll go back and do this with the severe thunderstorm. So there's your timing with that. That really gives you an idea of the storms and when they'll be moving in.
Yeah, now River Valley, earlier in the day when I made this graphic, I kind of kept overnight chances a little bit less.
It's a good question. I can't scan a QR code from my phone when you post it. It doesn't work. What you can do is maybe take a screenshot of it. Let me try, Zach. Bring up that QR code again. Let's try it. I'll try calling it. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to scan it with my phone. So it does. I'm going to enter in my phone number. All right. So we'll just set that down there. Enter this in. Confirm phone. All right. Sometimes my iPhone works weird too. Okay. So it should be calling me here real soon, and then you'll be able to hear what it sounds like. So, and it tells you what the number is too that it calls you from. Oh, it didn't work, huh? Okay. But that's all right. It's just a test call. Oh, yeah, here it is right here. So put it on speaker.
This is Weather Call Next Gen. A confirmed observed tornado.
This is, again, just a test. Just a test.
In your area. Get to a safe place now, in a storm shelter or in a sturdy building. Place as many walls between you and
see, and it'll have it, and it has the same exact thing.
And exterior walls.
And then see how it
stay
says.
away from windows. Repeating, a confirmed
Weather Call mobile
tornado
alert. That's what it'll sound like. So what the nice thing is sometimes updates happen to the warning. You can take that off of there, Zach. Sometimes updates happen to the warning and you don't even know it because the tornado warning is issued, and then it'll be a tornado that's confirmed. We see that on the polygon. We see that change, but you actually don't hear that typically. And this will let you know if there's a tornado warning that becomes tornado confirmed. So someone's asking about Tulsa storm, Zach. Alexis Stoner. She says, I'm in Tulsa right now. No, yeah, I don't think you need to be really worried about it. Go back to the west here. Is this the Tulsa radar?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see, no severe storms right now. There was nickel-size hail now in Okemah. It is getting a little bit bigger. Would not be surprised if a severe thunderstorm warning gets issued for the Okemah area in eastern Oklahoma. But you can go ahead and zoom in on the southwest side of Tulsa to show that line coming in. No worry, Jessica. It's not a big deal. I can't believe that didn't screenshot, but I thought it would. Yeah, so nothing super major. Just some noisy storms. I'm looking at rotation. There's no rotation with those. There's no QLCS tornado potential at the moment. Severe. Yeah. Everything's really low on the probs tour. It's basically like 0.
One model I did not look at very much is the NAM 3 kilometer.
Well, yeah, that's fine. You aren't missing much there. It's trash.
Yeah, still is showing late tonight. Not as much as the graph, and tomorrow it looks east of us. But I still think tomorrow. I don't know, Dan. What are your thoughts about Sunday afternoon? Do you think those storms will be east of us?
No, I think it's underdone on the amount of storm activity. Look at Oklahoma City. They issued damaging wind potential ahead of the line. So, Donna, I think Deer is going to be right around 3, 4 o'clock, about 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. There is some hail potential, but nothing super major. The reason that's issued like that, it doesn't look as strong from from Tulsa, but Oklahoma City, you can see a pretty substantial outflow that's out ahead of it. So what we're going to be watching for is a balanced updraft, downdraft convergence zone. We're going to be watching for breaks or surges in the line. And we're going to be watching that 0 to 3 kilometer cape. So that's the latest. And models are going to struggle mightily with this. There's just too much energy for no storms to develop. I mean, case in point, I remember Thursday it was showing all the storms would remain to the northwest, and now you got storms all the way down into Dallas. In fact, pretty substantial storms all the way down into Dallas. So the line will be coming through and it will bring us some rain. It just depends on what it actually does. All right. Well, Zach, what do you think? Think we can shut this down?
Yeah, I think so. Probably shut it down, get some dinner, and then
as the storms get closer to our weather coverage area, which, by the way, our western counties only include Delaware, Adair, Sequoia, Lafleur County, that's when we'll start broadcasting when they get closer. All right. Zach, I'll let you shut it down, and we'll keep you updated. So thanks for tuning in to Your Weather Authority.
Yeah, so Dan just signed off, but we'll just show you this one graphic right here. So tornado watch till 1 a.m. It includes Delaware County, but we do think this will be, reissued and extended into portions of northwest Arkansas. We can see another severe storm just got issued for that line, and that's probably for some damaging winds as well. But still a ways away from us. So we're going to shut it down, get fueled up, and next time we launch it, it will be storm time. So until then, stay safe, stay alert tonight, stay weather aware as these storms come in. It is that time of year, and we'll be back on.